Hey guys, it's Amy here, and today I bring you a Harry Potter Q&A. So a little while ago I asked you guys to send over your Harry Potter questions, so that is what we are going to do today. We have Harry and Dumbledore joining me on this side, we've got a lovely book display over here, and I even have my I a Dumbledore You mug. So grab yourself a lovely cup of tea. I have a strawberry and raspberry today, and let's discuss Harry Potter. If you haven't read or seen Harry Potter, this probably isn't the video for you because I'm going to be talking about people who've died and various spoilers in Harry Potter, so if you don't want to be spoiled, click away now. So I've got all the questions on my phone here, let's jump into it. Firstly, from Pin Everends, they ask, are there any parts of Harry Potter books that you would like to rewrite, even if it's just a small paragraph? Okay, so I don't think there's a specific part that I can think of, but I think in general it would have been good if the main characters were nicer to Hermione. Because rereading the books last year, I realised how mean like Harry and specifically Ron were to Hermione, like right the way through all of the books, and like I just didn't think it was needed. Like Hermione was such a good, like such a fantastic character, and I just didn't think they were particularly nice to her, and I think that maybe I would change that because I feel sorry for Hermione. Okay, so Joanna asked, do I have a sensory memory associated with Harry Potter? And I racked my brains for ages for this one, and I don't think I do. But she also asked, a popular character who you dislike or disagree with their actions or decisions. That for me, and I think for a lot of people, would be my old pal Dumbledore here, because I think as an adult reading the books, like as a child, like I didn't, like, you know, I didn't think, oh, Dumbledore is like this nasty guy, but actually the more I read them I think like, what the hell was he doing? Like literally like leading like children to their deaths and like just letting them get on with it and not giving them most of the information most of the time. Just didn't seem to be acting the adult most of the time, which was a shame. So yeah, probably Dumbledore. And another question she had was, if you had to eat one flavour of Bertie Bott's beans for the rest of your life, what would it be? Obviously I'm not going to choose a nasty flavour to eat for the rest of my life, so I think I'd probably go for something like chocolate orange or chocolate mint, because I just love those flavours with chocolate. Oh, so good. I like this one from Emily Rose. She said, would you be secretly sceptical of someone that got Slytherin in the Pottermore quiz? No, I wouldn't, because I actually am friends with a lot of Slytherins. I think I must just get along with Slytherins quite well, so no, I think Slytherins are alright at the end of the day. So long as you're not planning like world domination, and then you can be my friend, it's fine. Tasman May says, what is your Patronus and what would you think in order to conjure it? That is such a good question. My Patronus on Pottermore is a white mare. So when I first saw my Patronus, I wasn't particularly happy with it because I'm not the biggest fan of like large animals like horses and cows and like things like that. And so I wasn't overly pleased with having a white mare. Also the fact that they've called it like a white mare, not just like a white horse, like it's like a mare, like oh, what a mare. But then I remembered that Shadowfax from The Lord of the Rings is a white mare, and that's like a crossover of my two favourite things in the world, so I've come to terms with the fact of it being a white mare. I'm quite happy with it now. What would I think to conjure it? I had to think about this, and there's like this one time that I was so utterly happy and content and everything in my life was just so perfect, like, and this just really stuck out to me. And it was like everything came together, and I was just so overwhelmed with where I was, and I was so happy. Basically, I was in New York and I was walking from Boston over into Manhattan across the bridge, and I could see the like Manhattan skyline, and I was so overwhelmed with the fact that I was in a different country. It was like the first time I'd ever gone on a plane somewhere as well. And so the feeling of being in another country, doing this kind of by myself without my family, was just so overwhelming to me. I was so happy anyway in my like personal life and everything. And when I saw this Manhattan skyline, which is something that you see in films and something that's just so far detached from my normal life, I just became so overwhelmed that I just burst into tears. I just remember feeling so happy at that moment in my life, and so I think I would think that if I was trying to conjure my Patronus, because I think that was definitely one of my happiest moments. Okay, so Leah Cooper says, what class would you be most excited to take at Hogwarts? Definitely potions. Like, Although I'm not sure I'd want Snape to be teaching me, but if there was another teacher, then that would be fine. Recently, I've really got into baking and making lots of like delicious cakes and things like that, so I think potions would be like the perfect thing for me, because I get so like happy and like in the zone where I can just like follow a like instruction, like the ingredients and various things and like a method. Like I love doing things like that. It makes me feel so like kind of content and organised and happy, so I think potions would be my favourite class. Zamora's take on life says, have you been to the Wizard World of Harry Potter? If so, what's your favourite part? Unfortunately, I haven't, but I do want to, so it's something that I'm going to have to plan in the future and grab my friend to go along with me. The bibliotherapist says, which character do you think you would get along best with? Platonic relationship and romantic relationship. Okay, so platonically, I think I would get along with Hermione the best, because I just think she, like, I just want to be her friend, and she had so few female friends in the Harry Potter books that I just feel like she needed someone, and so definitely I'd go for her. Romantic character, I'm definitely going to go for Lupin, because I think reading the books now as an adult, I am becoming more like attracted to the adult characters, because obviously like reading them as an adult, like I'm not gonna find like 12-year-old Ron attractive anymore, because I'm not 12 years old anymore. Lupin as a character is such a like fatherly and wonderful character to Harry, but also he has his own problems which he goes off and like he does the wrong things sometimes, but he also like helps and he tries to like make good for the things that he's done wrong, and I really like that in a person. And also David Thewlis in the films, he's just hot, so there's no question about it, guys. So the lovely Alina and Tall Tales says, if you had access to the room of requirement, what would you use it for? I had a good think about this one, and I think I would use it for a spa, relaxation, massage therapy, jacuzzi, all that shebang, like just a relaxation place. I imagine being at Hogwarts and like studying and all the crazy crap that goes on there all the time, you know, like you're literally possibly gonna die like every year that you're there. That to me sounds pretty stressful, so I think having a place where you can just go and relax and have someone like massage you and do all these lovely things and nice smells everywhere would just be awesome. And I love a spa day, and so if that was available just like at any point in time while studying at Hogwarts, that would just be perfect. Hesna asks, what is the most action that was done by Harry that you thought was like not clever or just like the stupidest thing that Harry could have done? When he goes off to the Ministry to save Sirius and Sirius isn't there and it's all just a thing that Voldemort has put in his head, that every time I read it I just like, obviously it's not his fault because he's just wanting to save Sirius because he believes it's true, but I just, every time I think, God, like imagine if you just hadn't gone, like Sirius would still be alive, and that part of the book just breaks me every single time. Like I vividly remember reading that part in the Order of the Phoenix, and oh my God, in the film as well, it gets me, and like, you know, if he just hadn't just gone and done that, then oh dear, like oh, it breaks my heart. Kayla asks, if you were to get a Harry Potter inspired tattoo, what would you get and where would you get it? I've thought about this before, but as I'm such a wimp when it comes to needles, I definitely won't ever be getting a tattoo. If I were to get one though, I'd probably get one like on the side of my neck somewhere, or down below my ribs, somewhere discreet that could be covered quite easily where not everyone would know that I had a tattoo. I like the idea of that. I also really like really thin kind of like just single line, like almost like sketches, like, you know, like illustrations rather than like big block colours. Like I don't really like that. I also really like ones that are almost like watercolours. I will like insert some pictures here if I can find any that I know I've like liked before. Next question from Jessica. She said, I'd love to know your opinion on Snape and which side you're on with him. Do you think he's a self-sacrificing hero or a dick who happened to do good? I'm definitely the latter, haha. Yes, I am definitely the latter as well. I think, like, ultimately, even if he loved Lily to the ends of the earth and he was doing various things for him, that really didn't give him a right to treat Harry and like Ron and Hermione the way that he did through like all of their like school life. Like, he was an adult, you know, get over yourself. Like, people snub you and people like turn you down. That doesn't mean you need to like take it out on their children for the rest of their lives. Michelle asks, who are your favourite characters and why? I've kind of already answered that with Lupin. He's definitely one of my favourites, and Hermione. But she also asks, what are your favourite parts from the books that were left out of the films? And that actually relates to Lupin, because I feel a lot of his story and a lot of his story with Tonks and their child was left out, and that in the book for me was just so important, and that was left out and that really upset me. Also a lot of Dumbledore's story with his brother and sister and their like history was left out, and I really like thought that that was important too, but that was left out. Also, a lot of the 6th book when Harry and Dumbledore are going and looking into Voldemort's past, and loads of that was left out, and that was just like why? That was so vital to like how you like learn about Voldemort and what he's like as like an adult, and just like I don't know, it annoyed me. But yeah, anyway, all of those things like definitely should have been put in the film, or they should have filmed those parts and then just released them as like an extended edition of the film like they do with Lord of the Rings, because I know that there would be like millions of people on the planet who would want to see the extended editions with like the extra bits in. Lauren from Lauren in the Books, who I stole this video idea from, asks, what's your worst and best subjects at Hogwarts? As I said before, I think my best would be potions. I think my worst would possibly be like care of magical creatures. Although I do love animals and things like that, I do get quite like skittish around big animals. So if it was like, you know, a class where I was having to look after like a hippogriff, I'm not sure how well I would do in that. And she also asked what parts of Harry Potter made you laugh and what parts made you cry. I think the bits that made me laugh the most were the parts when Hermione would just shut someone down for being an idiot, and usually it was Ron or Harry, and usually it was when they were being horrible to her. And so I thought, like, all the power to you, love. You like just like, she's such a good character. I love her. Part that made me cry, which wasn't a death, was when Harry has had his name pulled from the Goblet of Fire. So he's in the Triwizard tournament, but Ron doesn't believe him, and Ron is like, is so mean and is so like just jealous or something with him, and they end up having this argument, and I think one or the other throws a badge at the other one's face, and they're just having this argument, and that part just upset me so much, because it was like, if your best friend can't even believe that you're telling the truth, then what hope do you have? Like, that really upset me. Anna the Reader says, did you like the ending to the Harry Potter books? Yes, I liked the ending, but the epilogue extra bit, which was like 19 years later, I didn't think that was necessary, and I thought it was ridiculous that like all of the characters ended up partnered with someone who they were like friends with in school, like so closely anyway. Like, it just didn't make, like, oh, I don't know, I thought it was just ridiculous. She also said, do you think Ron and Hermione make a good couple? To be quite honest, no, I didn't think they were a good couple. I don't think Ron treated Hermione at all well all the way up until book 6, and come book 7 he just completely like 180'd his behaviour, and I just don't think it was realistic, and I don't think Hermione would have fallen for him. So there we are. I think that's all of the questions summed up from that video. I hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun filming it. I'd love to hear your answers to the questions down below. Come and chat to me in the comments. As always, I'll leave links to Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, everything I've mentioned today down below. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I will see you soon. Bye!